guys, it's Ashley Lauren, and in this video we're going to be discussing Mars and Mars retrograde, which is currently happening in the sign of Aries from September 9th until November 13th of 2020. And I'm going to be providing you potentially a new way to view and thus utilize the energy of Mars and Mars retrograde. Mars is the planet that represents our drive, our energy, how we go after that which we want, the gas in the tank, our sexual energy. It's also associated with aggression, but essentially it's our masculine energy. And just like all planets, when it retrogrades, a retrograde is merely an optical illusion, but it is a perception of the energy working in reverse. So when we're used to that go, go, go working externally, when it retrogrades, it's internalized. And since Mars is associated with aggression, it's sometimes called the warrior. And the warrior is in its home sign of Aries for an extended stay due to this retrograde. And Aries is a cardinal sign which is very focused on identity. It's the natural ruler of the first house, the house of I am. So this is a big energy. Mars has not retrograded in the sign of Aries since 1988. So this alone is one reason why some astrologers have some rough predictions for the remainder of 2020. On top of that, Mars in Aries is going to be squaring the planets in Capricorn, another cardinal sign, and all those planets in Capricorn are essentially what kicked off the party that is 2020. So these predictions, though, are all based on the collective, and the collective is comprised of individuals who may not know how to consciously utilize this energy. And when it comes to the collective, that's out of our control. All that we can control are ourselves and then how we respond to everything else. And I believe that we live in a friendly universe. Unfortunately for you, you live in the same universe that I do. One where we create our own realities via our thoughts and our beliefs. So essentially, if you see it, it's because you believe it. And when it comes to the universal laws and the cosmic energies, knowing how to utilize them can help us create a reality in which we want to live in. So while it is true that we may experience a dip in some of the things that we associate with receiving from Mars, let's instead hone in on the benefits of this retrograde. But let's first think, what is the driving factor behind all of those things that we associate from receiving from Mars? It's passion, but then behind that is desire. So instead of viewing Mars as the planet of aggression, it's actually the planet of desire. And desire is a key component to manifestation. Desire is how our souls communicate with us. Our souls came here for a purpose, for a mission, and if it weren't for a desire, we wouldn't know how to actually communicate with their soul. We wouldn't know how to follow the breadcrumbs of joy that lead us on the path in which we are destined to be on. In order to be guided by desire, we have to first know that the desire exists, and then we have to also be free from resistance around that desire. So resistance can be developed in the form of feeling unworthy of fulfillment of that desire. Resistance can be in the form of shame or thinking our desire is stupid, so we suppress it, or we can think that our desire is impossible to get fulfilled, so since it creates frustration not being able to have that desire fulfilled, we suppress it. So then whatever we suppress then becomes part of our shadow, and then that creates a whole other slew of problems. And then rather than try and actually get that desire, we end up chasing things which are merely symptoms of that desire being blocked. Because desire is beautiful. Desire is rooted in abundance. Anything you desire should not be causing harm to you or to others. If it is, then that is not your desire. That is merely a symptom of a blockage around that desire. And it's also scarcity mindset. Because desire is future you asking you to make the necessary accommodations to not only be able to receive the desire, but to also be someone who is able to maintain the fulfillment of that desire. Because it is when we receive something before we feel ready for it that we self-sabotage. And that just creates more frustration, more aggression. You see what I'm getting at here? Mars, the planet of desire, acts in aggressive ways only when it is blocked from receiving that which it desires. Because desire alone is proof that you are meant to have whatever it is that you desire. Desire is just future you asking you to make the necessary changes and accommodations now. And since Mars, the planet of desire, is retrograding in the sign of Aries, the sign that is very focused on identity, what I'm encouraging everyone to do is focus on who you need to be in order to receive everything your heart desires. And then also focus on who you need to be in order to maintain the fulfillment of everything your heart desires, because it all starts and ends with you. You are the prayer. Everything you wish to see starts with you. So we should all use this time to really tap back in to our essence, to our true selves, our soul. What is it that lights you up? What is it that you can do for hours and you lose track of time? What is it that you're doing when you feel alive? What is it that your inner child loves? What did you love to do when you were little? These are all great questions to ask if you don't know what you even desire. And at this stage in 2020, I think most people could really benefit from a little desire, a little passion, getting realigned with our purpose. So now is the time to really follow those intuitive hunches. When you feel called to something, explore that, lean into it. If there's a creative project that you want to launch, now is the time to lean into that. Follow your heart, let your spirit guide you. It's easy to let our brains take over and talk ourselves out of it and get into strategy and how and why. No, our soul wants us to make that first step. Take the first step. The next step will be shown to you. But follow that desire. Those little breadcrumbs of joy will lead you to where you are meant to be. So this is the time to really get back to who you were. Get back to your inner child. Get back to the you before all the BS happened. The you before all of your personality and conditioning was thrown on you. The you who is just connected to source. Get back to that, the true you. And ways to do this are by following your desires. Follow those little intuitive hunches that you have, those little bits of joy. Follow those. It will lead you to the next step. And follow those little breadcrumbs before your brain kicks in and shows you to over-strategize and will talk you out of these things. Magic is in the simplicity. Take the first step, the next will be shown to you. But follow your joy, follow your desires. If you still feel really lost and don't know what to do with this energy, just create. Create for the sake of creating. Create with zero judgment. Don't worry about if you're bad at whatever it is you're creating. Just create, just play, just have fun. Your spirit is connected and speaks to you through relaxation and joy. But if you do experience a dip in any of those other things in which we associate as receiving from Mars, such as maybe a dip in energy, that's okay. If you're used to always go, 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 and now you feel like you just need a break, take it. Maybe that's what your soul really needs. So our souls grow through silence, through actual rest where our brain isn't actually still constantly active, and then through beauty and through creating. But if you do feel maybe a little more feisty, use that energy efficiently. Think of it as the universe giving you a hammer. Go use that hammer on things that need to be hammered. Don't just be holding on to the hammer, wielding around willy-nilly. Go utilize that energy. And lastly, just follow your joy. When in doubt, follow your joy. Joy breeds more joy. And your soul needs joy, and everybody needs joy, especially at this stage in 2020. Well, thanks for tuning in. I hope that this video was helpful. Feel free to comment below if you have any thoughts or questions, and I'll do my best to respond. Wishing you all a happy Mars retrograde. What's a good way to end it?